The male is obsessed with screwing. He'll swim a river of snot, wade nostril deep through a mile of vomit, if he thinks there'll be a friendly pussy awaiting for him. He'll screw a woman he despises, any snaggletooth hag, and further, pay for the opportunity. Why? Relieving physical tension isn't the answer, as masturbation suffices for that. It's not ego satisfaction that doesn't explain screwing corpses and babies. He hates his passivity, so he projects it onto women, defines the male as active, then sets out to prove that he is. His means of attempting to prove it is screwing. Since he's attempting to prove an error, he must prove it again and again. The male claims that females find fulfillment through motherhood, and sexuality reflects what males think they'd find fulfilling if they were female. Women, in other words, don't have penis envy. Men have pussy envy. When the male accepts his passivity, defines himself as a woman, and becomes a transvestite, he loses his desire to screw, or to do anything else for that matter. He fulfills himself as a drag queen and gets his cock chopped off. Screwing is, for a man, a defense against his desire to be female. The male, because of his obsession to compensate for not being female, combined with his inability to relate and feel compassion, has made the world a shit pile. Many females would, even assuming complete economic equality between the sexes, prefer residing with males or peddling their asses on the street, thereby having most of their time for themselves, to spending many hours of their days doing boring, stultifying, non-creative work for somebody else, functioning as machines, or at best, if able to get a good job, co-managing this shit pile. What will liberate women, therefore, from the control of male is the total annihilation of the money work system, not the attainment of economic equality, with men within it. The effect of fatherhood on males specifically is to make them men, that is, highly defensive of all impulses to passivity, faggotry, and of desire to be female. Every boy wants to imitate his mother, be her, fuse with her, but daddy forbids it. He is the mother. He gets to fuse with her. So he tells the boy sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, not to be a sissy, to act like a man. The boy, scared shitless and respecting his father, complies and becomes just like daddy, that model of a manhood, the ideal of a well-behaved heterosexual zealot. Wanting to become a woman, he strives to be constantly around females, the closest he can get to becoming one. So he created a society based on the family, a male-female couple and their kids, the excuse for the family's existence. A true community consists of individuals, not couples, respecting each other's individuality and privacy, while at the same time interacting with each other mentally and emotionally. Free spirits in free relation with each other and cooperating with each other to achieve a common end, because each man's end is all the pussy for himself. The male can't progress socially, but merely swings back and forth from isolation to gangbanging, wanting the female to guide him, but unable to accept this fact. He is, after all, a man, wanting to play a woman, to usurp her function as guider and protector. He sees to it that all authority is our male. There's no reason why a society shouldn't have a government, laws, or leaders. The male's inability to relate to anybody or anything makes his life pointless and meaningless. The ultimate male insight is that life is absurd, so he invented philosophy and religion. Being empty, he looks outward, not only for guidance and control, but for salvation and for the meaning of life. Happiness, impossible on this earth, he invented heaven. A woman not only takes her identity and individuality for granted, but knows instinctively that the only wrong is to hurt others and the meaning of life is love. No genuine social revolution can be accomplished by the male, as the male on top wants the status quo, and all the male on the bottom want is to be the male on top. The male changes only when forced to do so by technology, when he has no choice, when society reaches the stage when he must change or die. We're at the stage now. If women don't fast get their asses in gear, we may very well all die. The male being completely self-centered and unable to relate to anything outside of himself, his conversation is a strained, compulsive attempt to impress the female, and completely self-confident, arrogant, outgoing, proud, thought-minded females are capable of intense, bitchy, witty conversation. Having stripped the world of conversation, friendship, and love, the male offers us a paltry substitutes, great art and culture. The true artist is every self-confident, healthy female, and in a female society, the only art, the only cultured, will be conceited, cookie, funky females grooving on each other and on everything else in the universe. Sex is the refuge of the mindless. And the more mindless the woman, the more deeply embedded in the male culture. In short, the nicer she is, the more sexual she is. The nicest women in our society are raving sex maniacs. But being just awfully nice, they don't of course descend to fucking. That's uncouth, but rather they make love. Commune by means of their bodies and establish sensual rapport, the literary ones are attuned to the throb of eros and attain a clutch of the universe. The religious have spiritual communion with the divine sensualism. The mystics merge with the erotic principle and blend with the cosmos, and the acid heads contact their erotic cells. On the shorter hand, those females least embedded in male culture, in short, the least nice, those crass and simple souls who reduce fucking to fucking, who are too childish for the grown-up worlds of suburbs, mortgages, mops, and baby shit, too selfish to raise kids and husbands, too civilized to give one shit for anyone's opinion of them other than their own, too arrogant to respect daddy, the greats, or the deep wisdom of the ancients, who trust only their own animal, gutter instincts, who equate culture with chicks, whose sole diversion is prowling for emotional thrills and excitement, who are given to disgusting, nasty, upsetting scenes, hateful, violent bitches, given to slamming those who undully irritate them in the teeth, who'd sink a shiv into a man's chest or ram an ice pick up his asshole as soon as look at him. If they knew they could get away with it, in short, those who by the standards of our culture are scum, these females are cool and skirting asexuality, unhampered by property, niceness, discretion, public opinion, morals, the respect of assholes, always funky, dirty, low down. Scum gets around and around and around. They've seen a whole show, every bit of it. The fucking scene, the sucking scene, the dick scene, the dyke scene. They've covered the whole waterfront. Been under every dock and pier, the Peter Pier, the Pussy Pier. You've got to go through a lot of sex to get to anti-sex. And Scum's been through it all. And all they've ready for a new show. They want to crawl out of under the dock, move, take off, sink out. But Scum doesn't yet prevail. Scum's still in the gutter of our society, which, if it is not deflected from its present course, and if the bomb doesn't drop on it, will hump itself to death. the male's chief delight, in so far as the tense, grim male can ever be said to delight in anything, is exposing others. It doesn't matter much what they're exposed as long as they're exposed, it distracts attention from himself. Exposing others as enemies, agents, communists and socialists is one of his favorite exposés, as it removes the source of the threat to him, not only for himself, but from the country, and even further yet, from the Western world. The bugs up his arse aren't in him, they're in Russia.